Hi, I'm reading a book called Quit by Annie Duke. Very interesting book, and I just want to share one point from this book. So it narrates the episode of three mountaineers, Hutchinson, Task, and Cases Key. There are three mountaineers. Have you heard about them? I haven't. You haven't heard about them. I'm sure nobody has heard of them. Why? Because these three were mountaineers who tried to scale up Mount Everest. One day before they reached the summit is the top point of the Everest, their coach or the team leader told them that you have to start at 12 in the midnight. That's when climbers start, when they are at the final point of reaching the summit. Start at 12 in the midnight and you've got about 12 to 13 hours. By next day afternoon, 1 p.m., if you have not reached the summit, then your chances of making it after that are very remote, because the weather will change drastically after that point. So try and reach the summit by 1 p.m. So these three gentlemen, along with certain other colleagues, were scaling up the summit. It took them much longer than what they have planned. Why? Because there were too many people scaling Everest on that day. Totally, there were about 30 to 40 people. Some of them were very slow. So when somebody is very slow, the person coming behind them also gets very delayed. So by the time it was 11:30, they realized that they need at least another 6 hours to reach the summit. And it will be well past 1 p.m. Now it's a point of taking a decision. What do? Your coach, your advisor has told you that you have to make it by 1 p.m. They know for sure that they can't make it by 1 p.m. and it can get very dangerous after that. So in that team, the group of these three gentlemen, which is Hutchinson, Task and Cases Key, they took a decision to return back. They decided to come back and they returned. That's why you haven't heard of them, because they never scaled. They took a decision to return. One more person in the group, his name is Hal. He took a decision that come what may, I will try and make an attempt to reach the summit. It may take whatever time it takes, but I have trained myself for 1 year. I've done everything possible to come up to this point. It's just a matter of another 4 or 5 hours. I'm not going to give it up. So he went. He proceeded further. He did reach the summit, but on his way back, because of the severe weather conditions, he died. He never made it. Now, this author, Annie Duke, is asking a question to us. Who was right? There is nothing like right or wrong in this, but sometimes in life, you have to take a decision to quit. Psychologically, we are all tuned in such a way that gut is good, grit is good, but quitting is not good. We have always been taught that courageous people have the grit to continue despite the circumstances, however bad they are. And the people who quit are the people who are not courageous. They are not celebrated. Like you have never heard about the name of these three gentlemen. Why? Because they returned back. But do we always have to take the tough decision only? Do we always have to continue our struggle, our journey, our march towards the goal, even though we know that our chances of failing are quite high? Should we continue? Isn't it better to quit? That's the question that we need to ask us. Several times in life, we are just ashamed of quitting. Why? Because we know that we will not be celebrated if we quit. Just because we are afraid that we will not be celebrated, we postpone the decision to quit. It may be a new product that you want to launch. It may be a new company that you have started. It may be a new job that you have entered into. It may be a relationship. It may be whatever it is. You are just afraid of quitting. So you keep postponing the decision to quit as much as possible up to a point that you will surely fail. So quitting is actually a skill. Sometimes we must learn to quit without really thinking about who's going to celebrate us and who's not going to celebrate us. What is important for us is not that others have to celebrate. What is important for us is that we took the right decision at the right time. So quitting is something that needs to be celebrated. All of us have heard the story in Mahabharata. It's the story of Padma Vyuha. In Padma Vyuha, Abhimanyu knew the art of entering into the Padma Vyuha. And he just broke everybody and entered into the Padma Vyuha without thinking how was he going to exit from the Padma Vyuha, because he has never learned that art. A lot of us have entered into our own Padma Vyuhas. It could be a relationship, it could be a company, it could be a partnership, without knowing how and when to quit. It can even be an investment. You made that investment thinking it's going to do well, but you keep postponing your decision to exit from that investment just because it is your decision and you're too proud about it and you don't want to show the world that you have failed. So sometimes life can be a Padma Vyuha where you know only to enter and you don't know to exit. In Silicon Valley, they often use this term called the MVP, Minimum Viable Product. Minimum Viable Product is an agile product. They launch a product very quickly. You know how these products are launched? Only with one skill that is required from the person who is launching it. That skill that is expected from this person is that he must know to quit early. When you quit early, you are able to learn. And with those learnings, when you enter again, you are able to enter it in a much better way. But you must have a courage to quit as well. So quitting is not bad. Everybody has always taught us that don't quit. You have to proceed. Now that you have entered, you have to now keep going. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's okay to quit. Quitting needs more courage sometimes than to continue. You have to shed your ego. If you do that and you quit, like those three gentlemen, the mountaineers, they achieved something far superior than reaching Mount Everest, isn't it? They lived. So sometimes quitting is also good. Bye.